In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emmanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today, we are going to dig into all sorts of things, including GEO or AEO, and get some inputs from a person who's got their finger on the pulse of the changes in software in the Bay Area and the world around us. My guest today is Raj Singh. He's the Vice President of Product at Mozilla. Since joining Mozilla in 2022 through the acquisition of a startup, Raj has been instrumental in driving innovative product initiatives, particularly in AI-powered solutions. Raj, thank you so much for taking some time to talk to me today.
Thanks, Emmanuel. Happy to be here.
Yeah, well, you've been on the wild ride 4 times. You've started and exited companies, so that in and of itself is quite a t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. There's a joke. Can't get past first base, right? They want to go for the home run.
Yeah, I got you. Well, it's you've been at Mozilla for a few years now, and what's it like being in charge of this prod development for them?
Yeah, so I'm focused on some of our new products, specifically those targeting small business. Mozilla obviously has done an incredible number of amazing things over the years. Most famously known for, obviously, Firefox, which is my browser of choice, so do strongly recommend. But in addition to that, we're always looking at ways we can diversify and build new product. And so an area that has been of interest has been Solopreneurs. This is whether you call it the side hustle, the freelancer, whatever it might be, it's the fastest growing business and industry segment in the world. Ownership economy, post-COVID economy, whatever you want to call it. And people want to be their own boss. They want to effectively pursue their passions and make money at the same time. And so realizing that and seeing what Shopify did to this the e-commerce category, we were like, hey, do we have an opportunity to do something for the services category? So we've been looking at ranges of tools that we can build and provide for this audience. The first of which being Solo, which is at solos.ai, which you can check out, which is effectively an AI website builder. But we have other workflows and tools that we're also looking at.
That's cool. So is that the AI website builder? Is that something you guys built yourself, or did you bring that in as an acquisition also?
No, we built that ourselves, a small team. So the way new products work is we have a bunch of small little groups or new pods, and we're building new products. And there is a strategy behind it. It might look a little bit incoherent at the onset, but they do kind of all play together. To no surprise, if you go and talk to 10, 100, 1,000 service providers, whether it's a dog walker, hairstylist, therapist, coach, the problems are often the same. It's like, I need to grow my business. I've got a lot of back office I need to manage. I need the social media stuff is taking too long, newsletters, whatever it might be. And so we see all of those as places for insertion where we can bring a Gen AI first kind of experience to help facilitate those workflows.
And then did you guys build your own LLM for it to call on, or what's the back end look like on that?
No. So we for Solo, we use OpenAI. Different products within the team are playing and testing with different LLMs, whether it be Gemini, whether it be Claude or whatnot. And there is no one size fits all, but I think part of the answer to that question really is more based on what is acceptable from a user expectation perspective. So in something like a website, the expectation is the user is going to take that first draft, further edit it, and make it and personalize it their own. But if you were doing something like scheduling, it's an example I often use. you need to be precise. Like you don't want to get the automated scheduled event wrong. There's no margin for
Right.
error there, right? So
Yep.
depending on the sort of workflow or use case, how you approach, what model you choose, how you approach just the sort of ongoing eval process, whatnot, would vary.
Yeah, understood. I'm curious. Is there a Replit style Mozilla product on the horizon for us yet?
I can't say I haven't talked about it. Not currently building something there, but can't say we haven't talked about it. I think what's interesting about that whole vibe coding category is it's really, I like to say it's really unlocked a lot of creative energy. There's a lot of people with a lot of great ideas, but they
I
haven't.
like that from a professional web developer and coder and educated in computer science. I like how you can stay so positive with that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people have a lot of ideas of things that they want to build, but they weren't able to build it before, and so
Sure.
I think this is really just unlocking that. And so you're seeing all kinds of incredible things. People are designing, prototyping, and then sometimes even shipping.
Yep.
One of the things that's also interesting in that category is there any real lock-in? We do see developers notoriously fickle to kind of use whatever the latest state-of-the-art tool is or jump around. And so we do see a lot of people trying different things. There's a lot of what I call AI tourism that's also going
Yeah,
on. So
I
much of
like
this
that.
is sort of corporate-funded AI budgets to effectively test different experiences because there's such massive investment going on into AI upskilling.
Right.
So I think it's a great space. Don't get me wrong. Not currently doing something there, but certainly looking at it.
Yeah, I got you. I think the solo is cool. Is it set up so that I could like design and deploy in the same day and have my
Yeah, yeah,
Emmanuel's barbershop would be able to be live in the day?
yeah. Probably faster than that. And in fact, we took it. Beyond sort of just the website. It has sort of all the things that you probably would need, like newsletter sign up, contact form if you want to receive
Nice.
requests, kind of walkthrough guides to help boost your SEO through submitting into the Apple Business Directory or the Google Business Directory, Google Search Console hookup, etc., things like that. And beyond that, I think a great hook is it's also free. So I think it's the only it might be the only website builder where you can connect and host your custom domain for free.
Okay.
So we do have a plan to bring monetization for other sorts of features and value add, mostly to kind of drive growth. So it's better mapped to sort of what the job to be done is. Part of our thesis here is we want to democratize builders, and so we should be here to help promote people wanting to build their own business and grow their own brands and whatnot.
Yeah, I think that's a noble and important standard that you're setting. You mentioned helping it with the SEO, but what about the GEO or AEO, however you describe that,
Yeah,
generative
so
engine optimization?
so that's been an area of like really interesting experimentation. The entire SEO, AEO, GEO, whatever you want to call it, universe is a working product, much like a working document. So
Yeah,
it's something that you kind of track on a day-to-day basis and see what the latest and greatest is. I used to look at something called Search Volatility Index, which is effectively a group of folks who run the same 1,000 searches every day, and they look at the ranks of those results. And then the whole sort of insider thing is Google will update their algorithm on some periodic basis. Let's say once a month. Usually, I think it was like the second Tuesday of each month.
right.
And then that's when you would see a spike in the volatility index, and then it would be pretty baseline. And so the neat thing about that is that effectively signals, is there an algorithm change? The fact is the index has been riding high every day. So they're constantly tweaking. And so this obviously makes it very volatile for search engine marketers trying to optimize, let's just say, on the SEO side. What we're seeing in general is LLMs may use search APIs to obviously crawl results, but they don't evaluate it in the same way. So, for example, Wikipedia might not really boost your domain authority because they put no follow on all their links, but because of its notability, it's more likely to be cited by an LLM. So,
Sure.
being mentioned there obviously would be beneficial. In a similar vein, being mentioned in a traditional high authority domain, let's say news site like CNN or Forbes or something of that nature, historically would be great from an SEO perspective because it's a high authority domain. But because of the volume of slop and AI generated content that's being created, they may not carry as much weight now as a high authority UGC source. So let's take something like Reddit or Quora. Those are kind of the more obvious examples, but non-obvious examples might be review sites like a Trustpilot or a G2, or even affiliate sites. And the reason I call it affiliate sites is because a lot of affiliate sites have reviews. So basically, places where the content being submitted or created is more likely to be human authored, where it's usually fresh, and they are high authority. We're seeing to have a greater impact in terms of the backlinks or the citations within answer engine. So I don't think there's a one size fits all, but sort of one tactic is start contributing to those places again, boost your notability to get into Wikipedia, things like that. Try to drive reviews. It's a whole sort of game to kind of promote from an AEO GEO perspective. I think there are other things you can do just at the top level to make sure you're getting indexed. Whether these things have a real impact or not, organizing content, for example, in more of a question and answer format has shown to have some impact, because so much of what goes into answer engines are questions. So it's easier for LLM to index. Some have even suggested hosting pages in a markdown format, so it's easier for an LLM to consume. We've seen some longer tail strategy approaches where invest the time to integrate with webmaster tools from third party, like other search engines, not just Google. So like Bing, Yandex, etc. The reason being is some of the longer tail LLM AI chatbots might be using search APIs from some of these other vendors. And so it kind of boosts the chance that you might be included in that case. So these are just ranges of different tactics. I wouldn't say any one will work. It's constantly you have to be on the pulse, but it's certainly something we look at amongst of other exercises that we do to drive growth.
Yeah. Have you done any work? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I meant to say organic growth. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Have you seen anything around that robots.txt, and if that's had any efficacy for?
I mean, there's robots.txt, there's also TXT, there's also LLM. These are supposed to be effectively block lists for certain crawlers. What we have found is so Google Analytics, if you're using that, is supposed to be filtering out bots, and I think it mostly does a good job. But many webmasters or web administrators, sorry to rephrase, might be seeing increased sort of ingress egress traffic, just basically bandwidth. And the reason is the bots are crawling like crazy. I think I saw some data, maybe it was out of Cloudflare, I can't recall, just the volume, like what percentage of the internet traffic is increasingly being represented by bots simply crawling websites and more. And so I think it is in your best interest to create some block lists. And you may not be able to do it at the robots level. You may have to do it at a network level through unknown user agents or whatever it might be, firewall, whatnot. But certainly we want to allow the ChatGPTs and the Claudes and we don't want to prevent the Quens and some of these other longer tail models or the open source models and the llamas and whatnot. But at the same time, it's very expensive to be supporting all that traffic with no return, and they're indexing every day. And so it's something to think about. We also know that we don't know if everyone's necessarily even abiding by these block lists. So you might say disallow this particular crawler, but they're still opting to crawl, or they're still circumventing through a VPN or some other means by masquerading as another browser agent to continue to get access to your content. And so it's an information warfare game, and that's why I think you're seeing an increased number of publishers putting paywalls against their content, which is really changing the entire nature of the web, which has traditionally been a very ad-supported ecosystem, to something that might look entirely different.
Yeah. I think service for the content you have on your site. it's pretty next source, and
I think I lost you there for a second, Manuel.
I was just saying that the paywalls don't always benefit brand because people will often move on instead.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true. I mean, so there is some conflicting data within the SEO GEO community around Google reporting, click-through rate after search, basically. So uh, uh, I think they're saying it's been a net positive as they've introduced AI answers at the top, but a lot of publishers are reporting just sort of decreased traffic or decreased clicks. So there's some discrepancy contention there. One might be anecdotal, we don't know. So I think from a consumer perspective, I think the thing is, a majority of people, let's say, still go to the browser, they search, they click, but increasingly people are going straight to the answer engine, and answer engines in many ways are not browsers, they're aggregators of web information. They synthesize and then surface a view, and you could fully expect that at some point in the future, that output may not be a text representation, it might be a multimodal representation. So they might even generate an app to answer your question on the fly, because that's the best particular UI to answer your question. And so as you see that, where websites are effectively just a communication medium for an aggregator, and they just generate a website or a web application or whatever it might be on the fly, that's a very different kind of web, because in that model, you're no longer browsing the existing web. The existing web is really just a source of knowledge. You're browsing on the fly, dynamically personalized, generated content. And so we'll have to see how all this plays out. I think that's what makes this time so, on one hand, anxious, because you're like, okay, what's going to happen? Like, how, what is this new behavior going to look like? But at the same time, exciting, because there are a lot of frontier companies trying to figure this out, including Mozilla.
Yeah, I love it. So, in addition to the website creator, you said there were some other some kind of add-on services that people will be able to get from one.
Yeah, so usually when a service provider, whether it's a coach, a therapist, whatnot, is looking to build a website, they're not usually starting at zero. Sometimes they are, but often they had a Facebook page, or they had a WhatsApp group, or they had a friend circle or whatever, and they did some gig work, and they're like, you know what, I want to legitimize this. I want to make this bigger. I want to grow. So they go and set up a website. It's a good first step. It creates it's sort of a brand identity. It's their digital business card. Then the next step is like, okay, what else do I need to drive growth, right? And they might be like, okay, I need to start building audience. So they might want to set up a blog. Maybe they want to start engaging further in social media. Currently, they might only be using Instagram, and now they want to spread their wings a little bit and go into Threads or X or LinkedIn or whatever it might be. So we're looking at whether there's things we could provide there, like to help you sort of set up that blog, make it easy so it's in your voice, automate it in a way so you don't have to spend like 45 minutes, for each post. You could spend just a few minutes, whatever it might be, in a similar fashion with your social media and how that's managed. Now all of a sudden, you're out and about, you're growing your business, you're collecting payments and whatnot. Now you have accounting headaches, right? Like, can we help you there, right? Like with back office, solopreneurs are often too small for sort of QuickBooks, and then don't have the budget to necessarily hire the full-blown accountant in some cases, or don't want to. Is there something in between, right? So we're looking at that. Some solo businesses, let's take more of the the crafts workers, like the plumber, the electrician, whatnot. They're getting tons of calls, right? They're on the job. They're just getting call after call. Can we help them with that? Is it like a smart voicemail? Is it a voice bot? Right. So we're looking at that as well, right? Just for the lead capture. So I think there's various insertion opportunities. There are more, but each of those presents an opportunity where we could use Gen AI to further improve the experience.
Yeah, I love it, and I think it's a great insertion into a solopreneur and help them get a presence, and then also you guys will be feeding them products, including are still a mystery to a lot of solopreneurs.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I appreciate your time, and thank you for breaking this down for me today. If somebody wants to get a conversation, what's the best way?
They could ping me on LinkedIn. It's at Rajan Singh, or Twitter at Mobile Raj, or my link trees at Mobile Raj. Any of those channels could get to me. And happy to chat offline.
All right. Well, I'm grateful for your time, and I hope you have a very productive week.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for the time. Bye.
Thanks. Well, fundamental SEO optimization tactics are still critical, and then also spending some time asking some of the LLMs how you can improve your website so that they'll be able to find you and your information for prospective clients is another good way to approach the GEO in this time. I hope you learned something, got some value from our conversation today with Raj. Also hope that you take some time to upskill and find an AI tool that can get you some of your work week back. And with that time that you spend it with your friends and your family, and you get outside in nature. This is Emmanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at amazon.com or emmanuelrose.com. You can also connect with Emmanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.